What up, YouTube? So, I thought it was funny that a lot of people started messaging me, asking me if I got fired, because somebody started that rumor. Yeah. Don't ever believe the hype. If it doesn't come from me, it's bullshit. Just saying. So, I've actually been really fucking busy. I took my truck from San Antonio all the way to Houston, did the photo shoot, came, told y'all about it. Life is great. Everything's on board to launch on August the 1st. No, I will not be leaving trucking, and no, this wasn't a ploy to come out here and plug a book. I have signed a 4-book contract deal, and today, after our conference call, they want more. So driving is how I started the book, and it only seems fitting to continue the process. I have privacy out here, I have solitude, I don't have any distractions, and it works. I get off of work, and even though I have TV and Wi-Fi and all that jazz, I really don't watch it, or if anything, I'll put it on and leave it on as noise in the background while I'm typing or dictating, however I choose to do it. I'm not going anywhere. So, now that we've got that shit out of the way, not wearing a Swift shirt today. I am on a 34-hour reset. Now, that's why I'm making this video. One, to catch y'all up, because I told y'all I was going to try to catch y'all up the very next day. Didn't work out because I was too busy. So, my load that I my load that I dropped off this morning was in New Orleans. Everybody knows I'm from Louisiana. This is my jam. I have family all over Louisiana. My mom's side of the family, that is. You all know my dad's family is from Corpus. That's already been put out there. But my mom's side of the family, all from Corpus. Her last name is Bro, as in Breaux, very Cajun. So when it came time for me to, so there was a lot of fucking traffic on the load that I went to take that very next day, that I said, oh, I'll let y'all know if I get fired or not. Here we go. The next day, I needed to I picked up in Baytown and was going to New Braunfels. Should have only taken 3.5, 4 hours at the most. 8 fucking hours later. So Texas, I have to know, where the fuck are y'all going? Where are you going? I have never seen traffic across an entire fucking state. I never went 65 until the last 2 hours. I never went above 52 for a couple of hours. There was wall-to-wall traffic everywhere. On a Monday. It was fucking Monday. Now, I didn't even have that much traffic coming from San Antonio to Houston on a Sunday, and most people are coming back from the river. I didn't have that much traffic Sunday. I got home no problem. But Monday, son of a bitch. I was like, I quit watching the news fucking weeks ago. And I don't get on Facebook anymore right now. It's just, I'm over the negativity. And I'm not really allowed to have an opinion right now. So, and right now I think it's best that everybody just not have opinions. But that's neither here nor there. I just stay the fuck off of Facebook. Each one of my social media accounts is for something completely different. I am multifaceted, as you already know. So I have different audiences. And instead of having one channel where everybody just tunes in and you're like, oh, what's she talking about today? Oh, damn, I wish she was talking about this. I kind of keep them separate. Well, I found out today I'm fixing to have all new social media launched for me, but I'm not doing it. The social media and marketing team are doing it. That's just going to be for me as an author, because I have a series of books coming out. So that'll be completely different as well. This channel, I really like to keep just trucking. So All of your other questions, find me elsewhere or send me emails. The emails are easier for me to answer. So anyways, it took a long time. So the load that I delivered this morning was actually supposed to be delivered yesterday, but they went ahead and opened the window so I wasn't late. And then I haven't seen rain literally in months. I was in Florida from March 9th up until close to my birthday, which was March 31st. And then still no rain. Got home and haven't seen rain in Kingwood since I've been home. And came out on the road. It drizzled one day in Oregon. I get in last night, so I needed to come into New Orleans. The bitch here, y'all know, the bitch is the GPS system. The bitch here took me some random ass country roadways. There was no truck stops ever anywhere. Luckily, once I made it to the interstate, I was like, okay, cool. I know where all the truck stops are. It's no big deal. It got really dark really fast. And yesterday, I picked up from the Miller Coors people. The trailer was so fucking heavy. I had to go back and have them actually take some pallets off twice. I was at the Miller's Coors place for 3 fucking hours. I was like, son of a bitch. Sometimes it happens. It doesn't happen to me hardly ever, where traffic is an issue, and there's even been overturned 18-wheelers, and I get out faster than this traffic that I dealt with on Monday. And then I came out here last night, and it was just like, when I picked up the load, I was like, what the fuck? Okay, it's cool. Let's keep it moving. So I trucked all the way I picked up the Miller Coors in Fort Worth and made it to New Orleans last night. And all of a sudden, as soon as I turned onto the highway going into New Orleans, I-10, all of a sudden, it was pitch black. Like, pitch fucking black. And on that corridor that I was on by La Plaza and all these other places, it's usually pretty dark there at night, but this was weird dark. Then all of a sudden, the truck started getting pushed. Now, I'm at 79,982 pounds. When I say they maxed my shit out, they maxed it out. But I will say, Swift, your new trailers are fucking awesome. I had a brand spanking new trailer, 2021 edition, and that bitch still had plastic and shit on the inside of it. I may have been the first person to use it. It was an amazing ride. Didn't have to worry about my trailer at all. So, that wasn't the problem. And I'm on the phone with my friend. Not on the actual phone. I hate that you have to be so fucking specific with these losers. I was on the phone with my friend from Florida. And I said, hey, Nick, can you please check what the weather is like in St. James, St. John, and Jefferson Parish? She said, why? What's going on? I said, I have a feeling there may be some tornadic activity going on. She was like, oh my God, she worries all the time, which is fine. She's my sister. She's not my biological sister, but she's my sister. She was like, oh my God. She starts panicking. I'm like, girl, give me the information I asked for, please. So she gets on there. She was like, 60 mile an hour winds, gust up to 75. There are tornadoes in the area. And girl, if it's not raining on you right now, it's about to. When I say the sky opened up and just dropped its ass out, it happened so fast. Literally, like, could barely see anything. I think I'm going to get some new wipers. My truck was just serviced. I don't know if they checked the wipers or not, but I feel like they could be better. I've been through some rainstorms, and I was just like, she was like, please pull over, pull over, pull over. I said, no. I said, there's not many cars out here. I got my brights on and I'm looking at my white line. I said, girl, you're in a wheelchair. I got a CDL. If I'm unsafe, trust me, I will pull over. I kept going. I did have to slow down to like 40 a couple of times because I legitimately couldn't barely see. If it wasn't for the lines, I wouldn't have been able to see shit. And my wipers were going, but I just feel like they weren't working good enough. So anyways, I didn't get to the rest stop that I wanted to go, that I had planned to go to, but a Pilot came out of the middle of nowhere and I was like, holy shit, let's go. It was like my dad, y'all know who's passed. He's out here with me all the time. And he comes in clutch when I fucking need him. And that's what happened last night. Happened yesterday on my break too. I had 1 minute to stop to take my mandated 30-minute break. Chevron literally came out of the fucking trees and it happened to have a gravel parking lot across the street where other trucks were parked. I didn't even care how I parked. I just pulled straight in, pulled my brakes, and got off the fucking clock. Seconds were left. So I pull into Pilot. There's 2 reserve spots, and I'm like, fuck, this place is packed. When I pulled in, the water was like up to my steps. It was fucking flooded. So I was like, damn. I had to assess the truck because I did see a big tree branch with leaves and everything. I don't think it was a whole tree, but it was so dark I really couldn't see. But I did see something fly and it hit the front of my truck during the storm. It had stopped raining. It was just a little drizzly, so I got out my raincoat and stuff. And anyways, paid for parking, went inside to get my ticket and stuff. And the tree made a little bitty like crack on the bottom part of the bumper, but the wind, my license plate was rolled up like a fucking joint. I'm not even joking. I had to, this morning, get my pliers and like literally untwist my fucking license plate. And I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, I know the storm was bad because I was in it. And of course there was the super truckers acting like maniacs. It was badass shit here. So I was like, fuck. This is gonna slow me down. It's gonna put me behind. But I made it on time. I needed to drop at 7:30. Checked in at 7:28. Now, here's one of my favorite things to share with you all. So, the number one question every trucker gets asked is, how many miles do you get? Or do you really make the money? Blah, 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 blah. I feel like I've shown y'all that enough. So, let's bypass that. I make money. Yes. Now, do they give me the money? No, bitch. I drive. I drive my fucking ass off. I'm never fucking late. Never fucking late. And I take care of business. I get to the place, even if I've never been there before, and they're like, have you been here before? I'm honest, and I say no, but I take direction really well, and I get in, I get the fuck out, I stay on the road. So, I was a little upset that those 551 miles from yesterday didn't go on last night before midnight, so they're not going to be on this check, but I still have 2,800 miles on this check for tomorrow. So, those 551 miles, I always add the empty and loaded miles. Dun, dun, dun. And I always put them up here so I can keep track of my miles. Those 551 at 8 o'clock this morning, first day of the new week, I already had 551 miles on the clock. So, now, my next load, 1,833. Now, for Karen, who's going to come, well, usually it's a lot of Steves on here. I got a lot of dudes on here. I know it's backwards to y'all. Get a mirror. 1,833 miles I got. Okay. Now, when they gave me this load, I declined it at first because the first time they sent it to me, Today is Thursday. The first time they sent it to me, they said, okay, go pick it up today. I picked up here in Louisiana. And then they said, but the delivery is going to be on 7/23 at whatever fucking time. I said, 7/23? What the fuck day is it today? I have a book coming out, so I'm pretty good with the dates. I'm like, that's next Thursday. Why the fuck would I take a load that, first of all, it's not going to take me 7 days to get there. Second of all, I wouldn't get paid next week. I would have 0 miles because our miles go in Wednesday at midnight for payroll on Thursday. We get paid on Friday. So I literally put decline and put won't have a paycheck, ? Well, they sent it back to me. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. Underneath where it said real big, can't deliver early, and underneath where it said the drop time, it said window available, and then it said from 7/16, which is today, all the way into 7/23. So I can drop it off anytime between now and then. So then I accepted the load. I was like, all right. So my dilemma was, I think I can still show you here. Yep, let's turn you around. My dilemma was, so let's look at what I drove today. Today, 206 miles, because I was only 56 miles away from my drop this morning, and I only started the day off with like 6 hours and 58 minutes or some shit like that. So I drove to get over there, and now I'm in Lafayette. So I was in Zachary, Louisiana, and now I'm in Lafayette. So I have driven 200.6 miles today. All right, I have been off the clock for 6 hours. Here is why. Now I still have 2 hours and 5 minutes that I could be driving. Here is where you get to personally make your decision. I could drive the other 2 hour and 5 minutes, and there are truck stops all up and down I-10. Tomorrow is my 8th day. My 8th day, though, last week, my first day of last week, I only got 2 hours. I was only on the clock for 2 hours and 46 minutes. I don't even remember why. So anyways, I wish I could remember. I don't fucking remember, honestly. Oh, my truck was still in the shop. So, only 2 hours and 46 minutes. Now, the following day, if I was to just say, fuck it, I'll drive those 2 hours and 46 minutes. Or I could sit on these 2 hours, and tomorrow I could drive 4 hours and 46 minutes, and then the rest of the days. So this is how it works, resetting. Right now, these 2 hours and 4 minutes, those are still going to be there tonight at midnight. On top of these 2 hours and 4 minutes, I would get these 2 hours and 46 minutes, which if I wanted to drive tomorrow and keep recapping and start forwarding the load to California, I could drive 4 hours and 46 minutes. That is possible. And if I choose to do so, I can. Then I would shut down, and at midnight tomorrow night, I would get back 10.5 hours. That's a full fucking day. Let's go. And then after that, so let's go to where the 10.5 hours is. Here's the 10 hours. So the next day I would get 9 hours. The next day I would get 5, 11, so forth and so on. So, could I take this load and recap and just have a really short day tomorrow? Yes. The smart thing to do in this situation is to actually just go ahead and recap. Because if I run the 2 hours out, while I would be closer to my brother who's in Lake Charles, I have family in fucking every city in Louisiana. My mom never gets to see me. I haven't seen my mom. She came out here and met me last October. at this very same pilot that I'm at in Lafayette on I-10. That's the last time I saw my mom. For 15 minutes, we met at Arby's, we had a little lunch, and then I had to get back on the road. I was passing through. I never get to see my mom. I stop in Lake Charles and see my brother often. He's in a sober living facility, and I think it's important that he knows that, you know, I'm still here and supporting him. I never see my mom. She's a workaholic. She's a 2-time widower now. Or widow. How does that work? I don't know. So anyways, she lives by herself. She never sees any of her kids. So, why would I drive 2 hours to go see my brother, sit in Lake Charles, to get up and only be able to drive 2.5 hours tomorrow? That's a waste. When I could actually sit here and buy, let's see, today I got off the clock 6 hours ago. So in 28 more hours, I get a whole full fucking clock again, and I can just start forwarding the load, and it'll still get there super early, and I'll still have time to get another load in. So it puts me at my 2,800 miles for next week. I'm going to choose to reset. One, I want to see my mom. That would be cool. She lives an hour into town. She lives, I could tell you where she lives, but nobody would know. She lives in a sugarcane field. She lives like in the boondocks of Louisiana. And it doesn't make sense. If I'm going to get behind this wheel, it's not going to be for 2 fucking hours. And while seeing my brother is super fun and he's hilarious and all of that jazz, I really never do get to see my mom. And I'm not getting up and doing pre-trip and all that other stuff, because out of that 2.5 hours, 15 minutes is going to be pre-trip, 15 minutes for post-trip. I'm only driving for 2 fucking hours. It's not worth it to me. So, some people would just say, you go on, you fucking pussy, and you drive it out. No, I'm not being a pussy at all. I actually drive quite well. I am making a personal decision, and to me, the wiser one. Chill out, get a full clock. When you have a load like that, that's so many thousands of miles, you want a full clock. Then you can play with your time. You have a very long open window. I try to get it there as soon as possible. So please believe I'm going to be driving as close to 600 fucking miles a day as I can. I plan on having it, so I'm going to leave here 4 o'clock. When I do a reset, I make sure that I get my schedule back the way I like it. My time, my 34 hours will be up technically at 10 p.m. tomorrow night. Friday night, tomorrow night. I'm not going to leave until 4 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. People go, oh my God, you're wasting your time. I'm not wasting time. I have all the fucking time in the world to get this shit there. And a couple more hours and me driving on my own schedule, it works for me. These are the kind of choices that you have as a driver. So when you ask generic questions about miles, hours, recapping, not recapping, 34 hour, no 34 hour, reset, no reset, how do you work the clock? How do you make the clock work for you? There are so many different variables. It is going to solely come down to your own personal preference. Obviously, I don't tire that easy. I could definitely have been in Lake Charles tonight, hanging out with my brother, hanging out with his sober living friends, exchanging stories. But again, my mom, she's lonely. She's lost 2 fucking husbands in 2 years. One of them she's known since she was 10. That would be my father. It's a lot. And she's out here all by herself. My brother lives in Lake Charles, which is too far away from her. And my sister and my other brother, we all live in Houston. So, why not? And I personally like to get up and start rolling at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to sleep in a little and get rolling at 4 o'clock. And then my schedule will just keep going like that. I'll be 4 to 2 every single day. And that's what I like. So, I'm I should be rolling in to drop this off in Rancho Cucamonga. I fucking love that. Rancho Cucamonga, California. It'll be ready to deliver Tuesday morning if they won't let me deliver Monday night. I don't want to push myself. I'm aiming for Tuesday morning on purpose. Drop it the fuck off Tuesday morning as early as possible. I'm talking like 4:30, 5 o'clock. And then knock out another load. I could still knock out another 500 miles. And I got my miles again. Just like that. And I don't even need a 500-mile load. I only need a 250-mile load, and I'll be at 2,800 miles for next week again. But they don't give me those kind of loads, and I appreciate that. So communication is key. Now, I do want to clarify what happened when I was in San Antonio. Lancaster still sucks ass at answering phones. I was actually at the Lancaster terminal last night. That's where I left from night before last. I didn't know if they were still under construction. And by the way, the remodel at the Lancaster terminal is fucking phenomenal. Amazing job. Personal private shower rooms, none of the handicap stall, concrete, hole in the wall shower shit anymore. Very, very nice terminal now. I absolutely love it. Swifty did a great job. But still people don't answer the phone. I called my guy in Houston at fucking, I think it was 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and was like, hey, Bob, can you please tell me if you know if the Lancaster terminal is still under construction? Because all the lights are off, all the porta potties are still there, the shop was still open, which is one of the places they had us using the restroom when it was under construction, and there was hardly anybody parked there. He tried reaching out to the people both on their little computer thing and calling. He couldn't even get anybody on the phone. And he was like, well, it should roll over to Tennessee. I said, Bob, since last year, these people don't answer the phone. They don't answer the phone during the day. They don't answer the phone at night. I don't know. You people that come out of Lancaster, I don't fucking understand how you deal with it. Maybe y'all have, I don't know, y'all communicate via cell phone. I don't know. But when you call the terminal, nobody answers. So what had happened was, so I drove to Houston because I was pissed off. I wasn't going to sit in San Antonio. Thought for sure I was going to get in trouble. Not the case. I actually winded up getting paid for that, for the miles from San Antonio to Houston, because, not because I complained, not because I made a big old thing about it, but because I should have never been put in that situation. And my terminal leader, my terminal manager, when he put me into that HEB surge, it codes you different. So if you're on a dedicated or a regional or a certain surge, every kind of driving you do has a different code in the computer. So when the planners look at your truck number or your driver code, first thing they look at is, what are you coded as? That lets them know what kind of trips they can plan for you. There's tons of freight, which is why I was freaking out. I said, I just saw all of this freight, and they kept telling me, oh, we don't have no loads, we don't have no loads. Well, they weren't letting me know that I was actually coded only for HEB for the surge that was going on. HEB doesn't run on Sundays, which I had already known that, but they didn't have anything set up for Monday as of yet because it was still early. So I should not have been sitting there. I should have been recoded. It got overlooked. Everybody apologized to everybody, and he gave me loads for the rest of the fucking week. And I am still running. So, communication is key. Some people would have just sat there and not gotten paid. And just been sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. Had I not said anything, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday may have come and gone, and they would have been like, oh, fuck, she's coded for HEB Dedicate. They're not running anything right now. It may have been Tuesday or Wednesday before I got a load. So the fact that I did speak up and say, no, what you're telling me is wrong, I'm just going to go take it up with my terminal manager, actually, it worked out. So is it good to buck the system all the time? I don't promote bucking systems ever. I'm not for it, but I am for standing up for yourself, and I am for doing just cause. You don't have to be rude about it. You just have to communicate. Some people wouldn't give a shit. Some people would be like, fuck yeah, I got 2 days off. I didn't come out here for days off. I'm taking this day off for my mom and for my hours. It makes sense for my hours. I'm not going to get in here and do all this hoopla for 2 fucking hours. For the amount of time that I'm already off, by the time those 2 hours hit at midnight, I only need to be off 10 more hours. And I get a whole clock back. That's just using my noggin. So, you're going to have a lot of choices out here. I got asked by 3 different people on TikTok, actually. Yes, this bitch has a fucking TikTok. It was a quarantine thing. It's whatever. But there's a huge trucking community on TikTok if y'all get bored. So on TikTok, lots of chicks sitting at home wanting to come out here. Even some dudes. They're like, oh, I've always thought about getting my CDL. Well, stop thinking about it. What do you want to know? They came over, subscribed to the channel, which is great. I gave them some other people to follow. That's great. Getting the permit, to me personally, is the most strenuous part of going through the process. It is a lot of information. A lot of information. But you can do it. You can do it. People that stress out about backing, just don't. It's not that hard. I fucked that shit up all day, every day for about 3 days. And now, I love watching people get their cameras out whenever I go to park, because do I get it? Do I nail it every single time? No. Because sometimes you're at places on gravel and your fucking tires, they don't like it. It's called creep mode, and your tires make you look like a fucking buffoon. But it's a safety measure. Your truck wants to make sure you're not off-roading or, going somewhere you're not supposed to be going, off in a ditch somewhere. So I get it. But, very valid questions. I try to answer them all. But I definitely wanted to show y'all another situation where I've got these long, long miles. And, I just want to make sure that y'all understand that you're always going to have choices. I could tell you, oh, recapping is the best way to go because, you're missing out on $500 a week. That would normally be true. But in this case, I'm not missing out on anything by resetting. Whether I recap or I reset, I'm still going to have the same miles. So, may as well take the break. I'm going to do my fucking laundry. I'm going to see my mom, get my groceries stocked up, because this is obviously going to be a long haul, and I eat on my truck. Actually, if you go over to my Instagram, I made pork cutlets and asparagus. I love asparagus. I fucking love it. And I'm out of spinach. I like wilted spinach. Weird shit. I eat healthy. But I'm looking at an Arby's, Burger King, there's Checker. I'm on a street where there's nothing but restaurants. You name it, it's here. But I am going to go get some etouffee tomorrow while I'm here and some boudin balls, because I'm home, bitch. So why not? But, no, I don't give in to any of that. The most I pay for is my parking for safety and convenience. And, I don't really have to pay for showers anymore because I'm on the road so much. I can just stop anywhere and shower. So, you have options. You always have options. But the number one thing to being successful out here as far as your miles and your money even before you try to understand your clock and how to work your day or night, communication is fucking key. Don't always take what people tell you as law, because there's a lot of people at, I'm not going to say at any one terminal or any couple of terminals. It doesn't matter what company you're in. There's always going to be that bitch or that asshole that's just like, ugh, I fucking hate this person. Like, just put her on hold, whatever. Trust me, I deal with me. I know I'm hard to deal with. I don't need people to tell me that. I know who I am. I just wrote a book about myself. I learned a lot about myself that way. I'm doing a lot better, by the way. But there's going to be people that just want to show up, clock in, clock out, and go the fuck home. So sometimes you legitimately are getting looked over, and your concerns are literally going in one ear and out the other, and more so they're probably falling on deaf ears. So if they say you just gotta sit it out, you need to question that shit, because I guarantee you, if you go to Phoenix, for Swift at least, that's where our home base is. If you went to Phoenix and said, oh, so-and-so told me I just had to sit it out, they're business people. They're going to be like, okay, you take into account how much money it costs to run all this equipment to keep you cool. Right now, I'm on interior comfort mode. Okay, that costs money. That costs fucking money. Why wouldn't they just give you freight to keep you fucking moving? That's what they want. And just because communication fails at one place doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna fail at another place. So speak up for yourself. You don't have to be rude and belligerent about it. Most of the people I deal with understand that I'm not being rude. I come across as very bitchy. I'm actually not. I'm really goofy. I just was raised by savages. So it is what it is. I love you all. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. I am going to chill with my mom and catch up on my Cajun news and food. And I'm going to roll out Saturday morning at 4 a.m. and start making my way from Louisiana to California. Peace out, y'all.